W8VPV. Repeater. Net.
Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Good evening, and welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club's Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. My name is Russ, and my call is KDA-BYT. But for this presentation of Newsline, I will be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Without further ado, this is Amateur Radio Newsline.
Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2401 with a release date of Friday, November 3rd, 2023 to follow in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The following is a QST, a government boost for hams in northern India, astronomers challenged by RFI from Starlink, and a Chicago radio legend becomes a silent T. All this and more as Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2401 comes your way right now.
From around the world, this is Newsline, Amateur Radio's first independent, on-the-air news and bulletin service. Now, reporting from Wadsworth, Ohio, Stephen Kinford, NAWB.
Our top story this week comes from northern India, where amateur radio has been declared a top priority by the government of one state. Officials there plan to heavily subsidize amateur radio stations to ensure they thrive and become a valuable resource. John Williams, VK4 JJW, brings us those details.
Officials in the northern Indian state of Himachal Pradesh plan to subsidize as much as 80% of the cost of amateur radio equipment for licensed hams, recognizing amateur radio as a life-saving means of alternative communication during disasters. The announcement by the Himalayan state's Chief Minister, Sukhvinder Singh Sukhu, was made in the aftermath of a season of deadly landslides and devastating rainstorms. The Prime Minister made the commitment on Monday, October 30th, calling amateur radio, quote, a lifeline when wireline, cell phones and other conventional means of communication fail, end quote. He outlined a strategy in which at least one amateur radio volunteer would be available for emergency response in each of the state subdivisions. Each of the volunteers would maintain radio contact with state and district emergency operation centers. New ham radio clubs will also be established at schools and other educational institutions and can expect to receive government subsidies as well for promoting the training of new amateurs. This is John Williams, VK4 JJW.
No one wants to deal with RFI, but when you are trying to unlock the secrets of the universe, it's more than just a bother. It can derail your research. Graham Kemp, VK4BB, explains.
Starlink satellites are emitting RFI that is causing issues for radio astronomers, even in so-called radio quiet zones, such as the outback of Western Australia. That's the finding of a research team that published their findings recently in the journal Astronomy and Astrophysics Letters. Stephen Tingay of Curtin University writes on the Cosmos magazine website that, using radio telescopes, the researchers detected signals at a number of licensed radio frequencies, but their greatest concern was over intended and unintended emissions from elsewhere. They traced those to Starlink satellites. The tests the scientists conducted were at the site where an SKA low facility is to be built in Western Australia. The research paper's purpose was to demonstrate that Starlink emissions were easily detected by low-frequency radio antennas that the scientists were using to represent the SKA low stations, such as one intended for that site. Known as version 2 of the engineering development array, the antennas were utilized at 137.5 and 159.4 megahertz. The scientists wrote in their conclusion that, and I quote, our results indicate that both intended and unintended radiation from Starlink satellites will be detrimental to key SKA science goals without mitigation, end quote. The team recommends dialogue with SpaceX to work on a means of mitigation involving the use of version 2 of the engineering development array at the site. This is Graham Kemp, VK4BB.
A Chicago area radio legend has become a silent T. We hear about him from Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
For most of his 84 years, Bill Crane, W9ZN, was a welcome and well-known personality on the amateur bands, where the former Navy radio man, First Class, earned a reputation as a virtuoso of CW. For 45 years, Bill was also part of the core operation at WGN-TV in Chicago, where the senior audio engineer was known as, quote, the everyman engineer and a gentleman's genius, according to a station tribute that went on the air on October 26th. Bill became a silent key following a short illness. Though CW enthusiasts knew him well for his strong signal and enviable fist on 40 and 30 meters, Bill had an unforgettable voice for listeners of WVON radio, who knew him as Bill Butterball Crane, one of the WVON good guys. He was one of the biggest and most popular DJs in Chicago during the 60s and 70s. His career emerged from his early enchantment with radio, when his tinkering with electronics at the age of 11 led him to get an amateur radio license. In the WGN tribute, reporter Mike Lowe called Bill, quote, the twinkle of everyone's eyes, unquote. Tributes posted online by fellow amateurs recalled the artistry of his CW and the joy they had in their QSOs with him. As reporter Mike Lowe noted in his tribute, quote, a sudden illness claimed his life, but not his legacy, end quote. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
In Germany, amateur radio operators celebrate the 100th anniversary of the first AM radio broadcast in that country. Here's Ed Durant, 85LP, to tell us how they marked the occasion.
If you were in the centre of Berlin this past October 29th, listening to an AM radio transmission at 400 metres at precisely 8 p.m. local time, you may have had an experience similar to the one listeners enjoyed precisely 100 years earlier at that exact hour when the nation's first AM radio broadcast station went on the air. This year, the historic occasion of that broadcast was marked by radio amateurs paying tribute. Having received permission from the German regulator BNetZ, the DARC, the National Society, transmitted a program on the original medium wave frequency as part of that day's celebrations. DARC members were also present at the nearby Technical Museum to speak about radio and conduct demonstrations. The day's ceremonies included the unveiling of a plaque at the site where the original Fox House, studio and transmitter were located. The DARC, of course, is no stranger to AM broadcasting. Each week, its regularly scheduled news report is sent to listeners on the 49, 31 and 75-metre broadcast bands. It is, however, worth noting that this special tribute broadcast on 400 metres likely has more listeners than 100 years ago, when few households had radio sets. This is Ed Durant, DD5LP.
Late October hurricane activity left responders in the U.S. surprised, especially because these were storms unusual. They were in the Pacific. Randy Sly, W4XJ, has those details.
A nightmare began for nearly 1 million Mexican citizens and tourists in and around Acapulco when Hurricane Otis suddenly built to a Category 5 hurricane and hit with devastating force on October 25th, leaving at least 46 dead. This storm took many forecasters and emergency personnel by surprise. Hurricane activity on the west coast of North and Central America has been infrequent, but this year there were 2 storms back-to-back, with Otis following close behind Hurricane Norma. Bobby Graves, KA5HAV, manager of the Hurricane WatchNet, told AR Newsline that while activating for Norma in the eastern Pacific, the net was twice as busy, as they were also tracking Tropical Storm Tammy in the Atlantic. Graves mentioned that Pacific hurricanes were rare for the West Coast, as most storms travel east to west. While the practices and procedures are the same, the hardest part of eastern Pacific activations is the shortage of active operators. He is hoping that the recent hurricane activity with Norma and Otis in Mexico may encourage more hands to check in during weather activations. For more information on the Hurricane WatchNet, go to hwn.org. This is Randy Sly, W4XJ.
Time for you to identify your station. We are the amateur radio Newsline heard on bulletin stations around the world, including the K6 PVR repeater in Ventura, California, on Sundays at 6:30 p.m. local time. Hams in India played a crucial role following a deadly collision between a bus and an SUV, as we hear from Jason Daniels, VK2 LAW.
Amateur radio operators helped calm some of the chaos following a deadly head-on collision between an SUV and a tourist bus in Tamil Nadu, India. According to local media reports, the accident left 7 of the 10 passengers in the SUV dead on scene. According to news reports, Manjana Shingonaholi VU3CJM and Sankar Satyapal VU2FI at the Indian Institute of Hams were alerted to the situation by a ham radio operator who encountered the accident scene while riding his motorcycle. The institute got in touch with members of the West Bengal Radio Club, where amateurs made arrangements with local officials for video calls to be made so the tourists could assure their family members that they had survived and were safe. As Newsline went to production, news reports said the remaining SUV passengers and a number of the tourists were hospitalised and receiving treatment. This is Jason Daniels, VK2LAW.
In the United States, another road accident scene unfolded, this one on a much smaller scale, and once again an amateur radio operator helped arrange for assistance when nothing else, not even mobile phone service, could get through. Jim Damron, N8TMW, tells us what happened.
David LaMonica, KD2GIY, was driving in southern New Jersey looking forward to a day of parks on the air when he caught sight of a car that had run off the rain-soaked road. Its front end had been smashed. He could see that the driver's airbag had deployed, and he was concerned that the motorist, an older woman, might be in distress. David told Newsline that this part of the state had no cell service, so calling for help via mobile phone was not an option. That's where the 2-meter radio inside his pickup truck came in handy. He programmed it to hit one of the local repeaters in the area where he was visiting, and he also had APRS running in the background. His call was answered by a ham who happened to be a police officer. The officer wasn't in his police car at the time, but relayed the call for help and could pinpoint the accident site by looking at APRS beacon online. An ambulance soon arrived. Dave believes that such experiences need to be shared and told Newsline, "Videos have always taught me." So the lesson here is in his recorded account of how he made that call for help, and he shares it on YouTube to inspire others to do the same. It can be found on his channel, KD2GIY Ham Radio Fun. Dave told Newsline it's great to have fun on the air, and that day he enjoyed a 6-part POTA road, but the most important contact he logged that day was made on that 2-meter repeater. This is Jim Damron, N8TMW.
In the world of DX, listen for JWA1JAY, operating as WA1JAY/C6A from Paradise Island, also known as Hog Island, in the Bahamas, from the 5th to the 10th of November. The island is IOTA number NA001. J is operating holiday style via the FM satellite, but will also be using SSB and FT8/FT4 on 40 to 10 meters. For QSL information, see QRZ.com. Ferdy HB9 DSP will be on the air from Zanzibar Island, IOTA number AF032, using the call sign 5H3FM. Listen for him from the 25th of November to the 9th of December. He'll be operating SSB and FT8 on 20, 17, 15, and 10 meters. See QRZ.com for QSL details. Listen for Shabu M0KRI, who will be using the call sign 9L5M from Freetown, Sierra Leone, from the 24th of November to the 5th of December. He will operate FT8, CW, and SSB on 80 to 6 meters. He will also be using the QO-100 satellite. QSL via G3SVK. Special event call sign EI80MB will be active from the 1st of November to the 31st of May in 2024, marking the 80th anniversary of the rescue of 168 German seamen from the Bay of Biscay by the Irish coaster Hurley, which had the call sign EIMB. The rescue followed a battle between British and German naval forces on the 29th of December in 1943. See QRZ.com for QSL details. We conclude this week with the story of a gesture of gratitude from a group of radio operators, thanking a supporter of theirs, literally from the mountaintop. Kent Peterson, KC0DGY, has that report.
Mark Knudsen wasn't an amateur radio operator, but he understood the value of being able to traverse distances swiftly. For him, the key means of transport wasn't a radio, but the power of his own strong legs. Mark, director of the Fargo, North Dakota Marathon, was a celebrated local athlete who died this past July at age 53 following a crash with a pickup truck while he was out cycling in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota. The Detroit Lakes resident worked as general manager of Detroit Mountain, which had been home to the repeater of the Detroit Lakes Amateur Radio Club after the group's founding in 1975. The repeater eventually was moved to various locations over the years. This past March, the club found a good friend in Mark Knudsen, who agreed to let the club return the repeater to its original mountaintop home after 5 decades. The repeater was installed on July 13th, only days after Mark's death. On Thursday, October 26th, the club completed one more installation on top of the mountain, a plaque dedicating the repeater site to Mark. According to a report on the Lakes Area Radio website, the repeater's location now extends the ham's coverage area 4 times over. No doubt that's a distance that would meet with Mark Knudsen's approval. This is Kent Peterson, KC0DGY.
If you have a piece of amateur radio news that you think Newsline would be interested in, send it on. We're not talking about advertising your club's upcoming Hamfest or Field Day participation, but something that is out of the ordinary. If so, send us a brief overview via the contact page at arnewsline.org. If it's newsworthy and we'd like to cover it, we'll get back to you for more details. Meanwhile, if you're feeling even a little bit poetic, visit our website to learn more about the Amateur Radio Newsline Haiku Challenge. Use the entry form on our website and please follow the rules for writing your 3-line haiku, and be sure to check out our previous winners. With thanks to Amateur Radio Daily, AMSAT, News Service, ARRL, Astronomy and Astrophysics Letters, Cosmos.com, CQ Magazine, CNN, David LaMonica, KD2JIY, David Behar, K7DB, Detroit Lakes Amateur Radio Club, Economic Times, FCC, 425DX News, India Today, Lakes Area Radio, Mint, QRZ.com, Radio DARC, Radio World, shortwaveradio.de, Times of India, Tribune India, Wireless Institute of Australia, YouTube, and you, our listeners. That's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline. We remind our listeners that Amateur Radio Newsline is an all-volunteer nonprofit organization that incurs expenses for its continued operation. If you wish to support us, please visit our website at airnewsline.org and know that we appreciate you all. We also remind our listeners that if you like our newscast, please leave us a 5-star rating wherever you subscribe to us. For now, with Karen E. Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team worldwide, I'm Stephen Kinford, NAWB in Wadsworth, Ohio, saying 73. As always, we thank you for listening. Amateur Radio Newsline is copyright 2023, all rights reserved.
This concludes our Monday evening transmission of Amateur Radio Newsline. Let's start in about 10 minutes.
once again, decorating his yard for Halloween, all in a tribute to his late father.
Aaron joins us now with this special follow-up.
Yeah, so last year we went to Crystal Lake to check out this yard that was done up big, all in memory of a dad who loved Halloween. So his son told us back then that he planned to go even bigger this year. Bigger, better, the whole thing, right? And it was a promise he made good on.
He surprised me with how big he's gone. Everyone who comes by can't believe that Gavin did all this.
The mastermind and head Halloween engineer, a 12-year-old donning a welding mask.
I had to weld some hardware so it talks smoothly. Then I added a cylinder.
Just his attention to detail. He maps it all out, he does drawings, he does the fence layout, all the lighting.
This 7th grader has been working at it since July.
Windshield wiper moves, shovel.
And this is his passion, his pride and joy.
Fierce love of all things Halloween, handed down by
One of my favorite pictures of Gavin and Jeff, smiles on their faces.
This will be the 2nd Halloween without Dad or cancer.
Jeff was so proud of the things that Gavin was doing. He was 8 and 9 years old, so Jeff knew he'd be doing something special.
Before he passed, Gavin, including this one he received last week.
So that was super touching when Gavin read the card.
To put on the finishing touches.
And when it spins.
This isn't just about having the coolest yard on 4.
Proud of what he's done.
A son. Through the best tribute he could create. You said it was amazing. It is amazing. What this kid can do blows.
What a tribute.
That's a man right
something,
there.
Ben.
So it's, you know, this whole sentimental thread about it. But he wants folks to come out, so we're going to post their address in Crystal Lake today. So imagine at night.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a wimp when it comes to these things, but it was. Good job.
Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it. Still ahead. The
W8VPV repeater.
We all loved very much here at We all loved very much here at WGN. We want to share a bit about a remarkable man.
Good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night VHF UHF net. My name is John, and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information to enhance net operating practices and to keep members up to date about club happenings. This net meets here every Monday evening at 8:30 p.m. local time, preceded by Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. We will start with announcements and then ask for check-ins from any officer or member who has an announcement of general interest to the club. Once that is complete, I'll take check-ins, call signs only 5 at a time, and confirming each call. Then I'll correspond with those 5 check-ins and ask for 5 more until we're done. If you're a regular participant, I'll probably recognize you by call sign. If not, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. When all check-ins have been worked, I will repeat the announcements and then give one last call for check-ins. We also operate a band expiration net at 9:30 p.m. after this net. Please join us if you have the privileges and equipment. This evening, we will be on 6 meters, 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. Okay, here are the announcements. Let's see here on, well, first off, Artie, N8RKA, is looking for volunteers for the home run for the homeless on Thanksgiving Day, first thing in the morning. He didn't get any reply from some of the usual volunteers for that, so I'm mentioning the event here, and if you can help Artie out on that, send him an email message at n8rka@currently.com. I'll spell that. That's November 8, Romeo, Kilo, Alpha, at, and I'm going to spell currently, CURRENTLY.com. And he will reply with information about what you need to do. Where that event is in and around Glendale Cemetery in Akron, along Exchange Street and some of the other streets that are around that cemetery. What that is, it's a 4-mile run and walk, and I think there's a 1-mile walk at first, and then there's the 4-mile run walk, and it's usually almost always totally completed by noon, and then some of the volunteers gather at the Krispy Kreme on Maple Street. Okay, other events here. Let's see here. Well, November 8th, the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club is having an activity meeting, and it will be there'll be it's like a party. There's going to be a movie shown, and there'll be popcorn and stuff like that for during the movie. And that will be both in person, and I'm pretty sure it'll also be on Zoom. So again, that's this Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. in person at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ on Broad Boulevard. Get to the parking lot on 2nd Street south of Broad Boulevard. Then 2 weeks after that, on November 22nd, the day before Thanksgiving, we'll have our business meeting, and there may be the partying may continue some that day too. So we'll see how that goes. Then on December 6th is our Christmas dinner, and that will be at the New Era Cafe on Maslin Road, right there, just off of Market Street. And there'll be a presentation about broadcast radio, concentrating on the Akron area. And I saw a presentation like that by the same person at the Stowe Monroe Falls Library, and there were hams and non-hams in attendance there, and they all found it interesting. So that sounds, I know that will be a fun presentation there. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic. Let's see, I think that's all that I have in the way of announcements. But if you read the newsletter, you will see some of these announcements in there also. That newsletter came out today. Okay, so with that, are there any members or officers who have an announcement of general interest to the club?
Whiskey 8, Echo Zulu Tango.
W8EZT, go ahead, Frank.
Evening, John. As you run the net tonight, I'd appreciate it if you could take a quick survey of members checking in. What would the survey question be? If you're planning on attending the meetings coming up, would you be interested in coffee as an additional beverage?
Okay, I'll ask them, and I would be. So, let's see. I guess I'll take a tally on that. So, and how about you?
I might drink a cup myself. Sometimes coffee at night tends to keep me up, but also sometimes I roll in there and I'm just wiped out, so a cup would really help. I think we do have coffee service there, and that was a big complaint at the former town hall where we met, because we weren't allowed to plug high current devices in. So if enough members want coffee, we'll do coffee starting probably this Wednesday. Thanks, John. Please check me in. Don't have anything else? Good net. Talk to you later. Back to net. W8ECT.
Yeah, okay. And thanks for that message about the Hamfest there. And I'll review that some more too. So I have 2 for coffee already. Okay, thanks for checking in, 73, and maybe I'll hear you on 6 meters there on 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. Okay, I don't know what that is, but okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Are there any other officers or members who have an announcement of general interest to the club? Okay, not hearing any. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Was that KD8YAX?
You got it.
Would you like coffee at the meeting?
Definitely, but I'll be gone for the next month. But after that, definitely. I love coffee.
Okay, thanks. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-Ray Oscar. Good evening, Vince. What's going on over there? I saw the newsletter. It's great.
Well, all I can say is that's a good thing. Glad to hear that it's great. I'm not going to be at the meeting, and I don't care if there's coffee or not because there ain't coffee at home. So anyway, AC8XO, back to that.
Okay, Vince, thanks. Thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening, and thanks for your reply about the coffee. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Number 8, November Hotel, Mark and Akron, in and out.
November 8, I have you in and out. Thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening. Another check-in, please.
PU.
K8PU, I have you. I'll just go one at a time here since we're taking a survey here. Go ahead, Larry, with your comments. And would you like coffee at the meeting when you attend?
Oh, John, let me see. Well, first of all, Vince, give you a attaboy for the newsletter, like John said. Looking at it today, you do an excellent job, buddy. Just an excellent job. We can't complain. I'll be at the meeting. As for coffee, either way, probably wouldn't. I have coffee in the morning. I usually don't hit it the rest of the day, so I guess I'd say probably I wouldn't have coffee at the meeting. Probably be something else. But I look forward to it. It sounds like it's going to be fun, and so I'll certainly be there. And if you get there first, John, save me a seat. KPU, back to you, John.
Yeah, I'll save you a seat. I'll try to save you a seat. You know how it gets. With all the high attendance there, it's hard to promise that I'll be able to save you a seat, but I'll try. Okay. Maybe we'll hear you on 6 meters here this evening. Thanks for checking in, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. WA3JAT. Good evening, Jim. What's going on there?
Oh, not a lot going on. The expedition's out there. Hope everyone's able to work some of those stations. Looking forward to the meeting on Wednesday and see everyone there. That's about all I've got
We have a survey going on here. Would you like coffee at the meetings?
I would vote no on the coffee.
Okay, thanks. And during the Aries net, somebody mentioned something about a magnetic storm or something affecting communications. Do you see any bad effects from that? Over.
Not today. There's a lot of DX today. And a couple others.
Okay, very good. Thanks for checking in, and maybe we'll hear you later today on 6 meters, 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. So thanks for checking in. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. That didn't make it into the repeater. It just broke the squelch. Okay, I heard a hotel in the call sign. Try it again. Okay, well, I couldn't get the call sign, but I think I heard the name as being John. Over.
Negative. Ron, Romeo, Oscar, November. Romeo, Oscar, November.
Oh, there, your signal was real good there. What's your call sign, Ron?
November, Victor 5 Hotel, formerly Kilo Echo 5, Mike Delta Foxtrot.
Okay, I got a November Victor 5 Hotel and then a Kilo Echo 5 something. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. My wife and I joined you guys for field day. We're just back in the area for a little while. Go ahead.
Okay, so what was the rest of her call? I got the Kilo Echo 5. Go ahead.
Disregard the Kilo Echo 5. That was my former call sign.
Okay, do you have any comments for the net? Your signal improved considerably there. I don't know what you did, but it's good now.
I stuck my head out the window. No, we're just going to be in the area for a little bit. Just enjoyed participating in field day with you guys.
Okay, Ron, thanks for checking in. 73, and have a good evening. I don't know if you have 6 meter capability, but at 9:30 we'll be on 50.270 megahertz upper sideband. That won't be through any repeater, so we'll see how that goes. So have a good evening there, and 73. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
KE8 KVI in and out.
KE8 KVI in and out. Ron, if you come to the meeting, would you want coffee? Over.
If I come to the meeting, a cup of coffee would be nice.
Okay, thanks. You're the fourth one. We're taking a survey here. Frank was asking. So thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening, and thanks for your opinion on the coffee. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Kilo Echo 8 Victor Yankee Kilo, in and out, one for the numbers.
Okay, KE8VYK, I got you. Thanks for checking in at 73 and have a good evening. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Leo, I'm in and out tonight, but if I can make, I have to work on December 26th, but if I can make it in there, I probably would like a cup of coffee, KE8ULA.
Well, on December 6th, we'll be at the New Era Cafe. But let's see, the meeting is on November 8th, and then again on November 22nd. So that's what we're asking about coffee at those two meetings. Over.
Oh, copy that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had the dates mixed up there and that. Thanks, John. I got to work those days anyhow. Yeah, so to answer the question, always could use a good cup of coffee. KE8ULA.
Okay, Leo, very good. Thanks for that. And 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
KA8WTK.
8HMS.
Okay, I got Bill and I got Steve. Go ahead first, Bill. KA8WTK.
Hey, John and Russ, and that KA8WTK. Coffee is always nice. I don't know that I'd make the meeting, but that was one thing I always thought was missing from the other meetings was some coffee. But beyond that, not much else going on other than trying to keep up with the oak leaves. They finally decided to drop with a vengeance. Hopefully they'll get done in the next few days. We'll be done with this and move on to something else. Back to net, KA8WTK.
Okay, Bill, thanks. Yeah, there's two oak trees in the neighbors behind us, and I think that they are black oaks, and sometimes the leaves stay on all winter and come off sometime late in the winter when snow sticks to them or something, and then they come down. But the one is still green, so I think it's going to do that this year. It doesn't do it the same every year, but the other neighbors' oak trees are almost done, including ours in the front yard. It's almost done too. So that'll be probably by the end of the week. That one will be done. Thanks for checking in there, Bill, and maybe we'll hear you on 6 meters. Okay, next is Steve, K8HMS. Go ahead, Steve, with your comments. And we're taking a survey. Would you like coffee at the meetings?
Oh, okay. Hi, John. K8HMS here. No. Not really. I haven't been able to get to some of the meetings. I've been watching it. Oh, real quick, though, you copy me okay? I'm on the 440 side.
Yeah, you're okay. There's a little bit of noise in the background that varies some, like, I don't know if you're moving around a little bit, but I copy you perfectly.
Okay, yep, that's good. I know sometimes things don't come up out of the valley real good. Anyway, no, that's fine. Like I say, haven't gotten to the meetings lately, and if nothing else, I watch them on Zoom. So that would be negative for me. And other than that, yeah, not much going on. Yeah, hearing Bill there, yeah, just and you guys doing and kind of lucked out today. I blew them out in the street, and it was windy, and the wind picked them up and blew them away. So, and yeah, so my thing lately is Air Force Mars has some special event stations going, so I've been working on that. Other than that, I guess that's about it. See you on 6 meters, and I don't remember the frequency. Gate HMS, or yeah, WAVPV, Gate HMS.
Repeater. Okay, Steve, very good. Yeah, the frequency is 50.270 megahertz, upper sideband. So I'll be the net control station, so I'll be listening for you. Okay, thanks for checking in, and thanks for your answer about the coffee survey. Okay, next, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
N8ALQ.
N8ALQ, good evening, Walt. What's going on? It's been a while. Over?
Yeah, it sure has been, John. I've kind of got myself involved in some health issues, but we're doing pretty good, so I thought we'd grab my HT and say good evening to everybody.
Oh, well, it's really good to hear you. Do you have 6-meter capability?
Yeah, I do, but that's upstairs, and I won't be able to get there.
Okay, well, good to hear you, and hopefully you get better there pretty soon. Over?
Very good, John. Thank you very much, and we'll say everybody have a great Thanksgiving, and you know what's coming after that. This is N8ALQ back to net.
Okay, well, thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, asking for check-ins.
Kilo Echo 8 Tango Quebec Romeo KE8 TQR Keith in Uniontown.
Keith, go ahead with your comments. I'm just taking them one at a time today.
Whiskey Papa Victor, this is KE8 TQR. This is, Keith again. Well, John, you take them any way you want. One at a time, I guess, is good as well as anything else. I just wanted to stop in real quick tonight and don't have a lot of traffic. Just wanted to get another one for the numbers. Tell everyone to have a great evening, great rest of your week. Careful out there wherever you go, and we'll send it back to you, John, in net control. This is KE8 TQR 73.
73, Keith, and have a good evening. Very good. Thanks for checking in. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. Okay, none heard at this time. I'm going to take this opportunity to announce that we have another silent key, and that is Joe Bartzy, KC8 DFK, or DKF, KC8 DKF. That's Joe Bartzy. He worked where I worked until he retired, and then he was involved with Skywarn in the area where he lives, and usually on 6 meters. Also, he and his wife were geocachers, and they had found close to 20,000 geocaches. They had one account, so they were called Shirley and Joe. I don't know if anybody on the air here is a geocacher, but he and I went geocaching a couple of times at lunchtime up where we worked, which was in Independence, and his son is Brian, KFAG, who's also a geocacher, and also he and I operate the N8X, let's see, what's that call sign? Anyhow, the 6-meter net on Sunday evenings. N8.
Repeater, timeout. Time. Repeater out.
Okay, I'm not sure where I timed it out, but I was talking about a silent key, Joe Bartsey, KC8DKF, and his son, Brian, KFAG. He and I run the 6-meter net, N8XPK multi-state net on Sunday evenings at 7 on the N8XPK repeater. 53.170 megahertz is the output. You transmit on 52.170 megahertz. And there's various PL tones, but the closest to here is Richfield 136.5 is the PL tone. So KC8DKF, Joe Bartsey, is a silent key. Okay, with that, this is John WO3X at the mic for Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins.
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Golf Delta, Mobile, Greg and Kent, in and out.
Thanks, Greg, for checking in. I have you in and out. 73, and have a good evening. This is Whiskey 8, Victor Papa Victor, asking for check-ins. Okay, I don't hear any at this time. I'll repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. Okay, so this Wednesday, November 8th, is our Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club meeting, and it's going to be a party with a movie. So there'll be popcorn and things like that during the movie, and in person it will be at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, 130 Broad Boulevard. Get to the parking lot, which is on 2nd Street, south of Broad Boulevard. Let's see here, and then we will have another meeting the day before Thanksgiving. That's on November 22nd. The party may continue then, too. Okay, and then talking about parties, December 6th is the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Christmas dinner. That will be at the New Era Restaurant, and there's a link in the newsletter to sign up for that. And there also may be a link on the website at www.cfarc.org to sign up for that. On November 23rd, that's Thanksgiving Day, first thing in the morning is the home run for the homeless. So Artie, N8RKA, needs additional volunteers for that operation. It's in and around Glendale Cemetery, which is around Exchange Street and Maple Street. So send a message to Artie at this email address: n8rka@currently.com. Okay, so that's November 8, Romeo Kilo Alpha at CURRENTLY.com. So he would like to get a message from you if you can volunteer for that. You need to have a handheld radio or a radio in your car to correspond with net control, which may be me. So we'll see who all he assigns to what. Again, that's n8rka@currently.com. Let's see, there is also a volunteer exam session a week from today. That's November 13th at the Cuyahoga Falls Library. The test starts at 6:30 p.m. So get there before that so that you can take the test when it starts. Go to www.cfarc.org and click on the education, the word education, and that will take you to the page where you sign up to take the exam. So pre-register and make sure that you have an FRN. It will be a law exam, so there's no fee for the test. So again, that's Monday, November 13th. That's a week from today. Test starts at 6:30 p.m. And that's at the Cuyahoga Falls Library, 225 2nd Street. You can also get to that library from 3rd Street between Portage Trail and Broad Boulevard. Okay, let's see, and I think that's all that I have in a way of announcement. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic. Last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, not hearing any. In preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. Without your participation, there would be no net. This has been John, and my call is WO3X, and it's been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net with 17 check-ins, counting myself, and return the repeater to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 9:10 p.m. local time. 7-3.
73 round, but before I do, let me see if there was any other people who were lurking around who wanted to just say their 73s before we shut the West Park Radio Ops 2-meter net down. If you'd like to say your 73s, please give me your call sign now. Nothing heard. West Park Radio Ops Club would like to again thank the Northern Ohio DX Association for the use of their repeater for our nets. The West Park Radio Ops Club meet on this frequency of the Northern Ohio DX Association 147.360 PL 107.2 every Monday night at 8 p.m. All amateur radio licensed amateurs and individuals who have licenses are always welcome to check into this net. We hope to hear you all next Monday. Our club would like to thank everyone who participated in tonight's net. I always say this because I absolutely mean it. I love amateur radio. I love this club and the people who check in and make this net and all the nets that I'm a part of, or any nets in amateur radio, great. Thank you all. We are now turning this repeater back to its regular operations. November 8 Whiskey Bravo and Whiskey 8 Victor Mike are both clear. 73, my friends. And if you have time, we'll see you at the Golden Corral tomorrow in Elyria.
W8VTV repeater.
Okay, let's try this again. Okay, good evening. Calling all amateur radio operators. Welcome to the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club Monday night Band Explorer Net. My name is John and my call is WO3X. However, for the purposes of this net, I'll be using the club call Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. This is an open directed net. All amateur radio operators are invited and encouraged to check in. You do not have to be a club member. All traffic will go through net control, and since emergency traffic may break in at any time, please leave a brief pause between transmissions. The purpose of this net is to bring together all amateur radio operators for the exchanging of amateur-related ideas and information, to enhance net operating practices, and to keep us updated about club happenings. The Band Explorer Net meets every Monday evening at 9:30 p.m., preceded by the VHF-UHF net at 8:30 and Amateur Radio Newsline at 8:01. The frequency of the Band Explorer Net is on our calendar, which is on www.cfarc.org, and this week, as you can hear, it's on 50.270 megahertz. Next week it will be on 10 meters on 28.360 megahertz, upper sideband. When checking in, please give your call repeated phonetically, followed by your name and your location. Also, let me know if you have any comments or traffic for the net, or if you're checking in and out. I will start with announcements and then call for officers or members who may have items of special interest to the club. When all have checked in, I will repeat the announcements, and then I'll give one last call for check-ins and close the net. Here are the announcements. The next regular meeting of the Cuyahoga Falls Amateur Radio Club will be this Wednesday, that's November 8th, at 7:30 p.m. at the Pilgrim United Church of Christ, 130 Broad Boulevard. Get to the parking lot, which is south of Broad Boulevard on 2nd Street. The meeting will also be on Zoom. Now this meeting is going to be we're going to show a movie, and so there'll be popcorn and other such items there too. So come on and have watch the movie in person there and have some fun. And it will also be on Zoom too, so there you go. Okay, let's see, and then 2 weeks after that is our other meeting, probably a business meeting, and that will be the last business meeting of the year. And let's see, we will have the snacks there also. And maybe we will have coffee too, we'll see. Okay, and but this coming Monday, a week from today, is a volunteer exam session. It will be at the Cuyahoga Falls Library, 225 2nd Street. You can also get to that library by going on 3rd Street between Portage Trail and Broad Boulevard and turn into the parking lot off of 3rd Street. Okay, now pre-register for that by going to www.cfarc.org and click on the word education, and that will take you to a page where you can sign up for the exam. Now the test starts at 6:30 p.m., so get there ahead of time. Also make sure that you have your FRN and your identification. Okay, so let's see. Also, now the next day after that meeting is Thanksgiving Day. In the morning is an event at in and around the Glendale Cemetery, which is off of Exchange Street in Akron. And what there is, there's a walk and a run walk, a 4-mile run, and we need operators along the course to help if there's if a runner or walker has a problem. And so if you can volunteer for that, send a message to Artie at, and here's his email address, n8rka@currently.com. I'll spell November 8 Romeo Kilo Alpha at CURRENTLY. That's Charlie United Romeo Romeo Echo November Tango Lima Yankee.com, and let them know that you can help out. You need to have a handheld radio or a radio in your car. A 2-meter, we usually do a 2-meter simplex on some determined frequency. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
Evening, Tom. Please check in. Whiskey 8 Echo Zulu Tango back home.
W8EZT. Okay, Frank. I took that survey, and let's see, we had 17 check-ins counting myself, and a lot of them don't attend the meeting, but we had 6 that would like coffee, and some said since it's evening they don't want coffee, but six of us do. So that's the survey results for coffee. Over.
All right, sounds good then. 6 sounds like enough for a pot of coffee at least. I will try to get the fixins there to crank out some coffee this Wednesday. So very good. Thanks, John. Please check me in. Appreciate what you're doing for the net and everything. And that's really about all I've got. So I'll hand it back to you. W8EZT.
Yeah, okay. I started a little bit late here because I was watching my SWR, and it kept jumping around, and the tuner was jumping on and off. Here I still had the radio selector switch set for the 2-meter radio, so that's the story on that. That's why I'm starting a little late here. Okay, thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening, and I'd like creamer, or even if you have like half and half or whatever, like a half pint of half and half. I can use that in my coffee. So that's my preference. Thanks. So with that, so 73, and have a good evening. And hey, Walt, N8ALQ checked in, Frank.
I heard him on the way home. I was just in my car when I heard him in there. That was great to hear. I hadn't talked with him for a while. He had donated year ago, and well, it's always good to hear from him. I know he's suffering some medical issues, so Walt, if you're out there, thanks for checking in. Good to hear you, and I hope to see you one of these days at another meeting. All right, thanks, John. Appreciate it. And by the way, I've got that. What do I use? I use some kind of flavored creamer. I think not Southern butter pecan anymore. I changed. Maybe hazelnut creamer. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, that's okay too. Yeah, hazelnut's okay.
All right, maybe I'll just bring my stock from home and we'll use it at least this first time. Find out what people want, and that way next year, as the snow flies, people can come into a warm cup of coffee. All right, thanks, John. Back to you, W8EZT.
Okay, thanks, Frank. Thanks for checking in. Have a good evening, and thanks for that coffee stuff. That'll be fine. That'll be fun too. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John W03X at the mic asking for check-ins.
Alpha Charlie 8 X-ray Oscar.
Alpha Charlie X-ray Oscar. Alpha Charlie 8 X-ray Oscar. Go ahead, Vince.
Well, it's been a long time since I've been on one of the band exploration. It's been also a long time since I had my antennas back up. But anyway, I figured it was time I could check in and just say hello. Other than that, I ain't got much else to say. Thanks for running the net, John. This is Alpha Charlie 8 X-ray Oscar. Back to that.
Okay, Vince, very good. Well, I have you 10 over 9 here, so of course we're not very far apart, but thanks for checking in, 73, and have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
Kilo Alpha 8, Whiskey Tango Kilo.
Hudson, Mark.
Okay, let's see, I got KAAWTK and somebody in Hudson. Go ahead again.
KE8YIR, it's Mark in Hudson.
KE8YIR, Mark in Hudson. Okay, we'll get back with you in a couple minutes here, Mark. Thanks. Go ahead, Bill, KA8WTK.
Yeah, W8VPV, KA8WTK. If you on the 2-meter net, I mentioned dealing with the leaves, and we had something unusual happen this year. We've never seen it happen before. Thursday, we got a bunch of leaves down to the curb because pickup starts this week, and we're in the house. We're looking outside at the pile, and a guy pulls in a car, and he gets out, and he gets out with some trash bags. He fills up about 5 trash bags of leaves, puts them in the car, breaks the pile neatly back into place again, and leaves. We're thinking, huh? He must have a garden somewhere or something, or he's mulching leaves, you know, and he doesn't have any leaves of his own. Around here, that'd be hard to believe. Well, today, we of course, we brought down a whole bunch more leaves over the weekend, and today, sure enough, guy pulls in the driveway again. Margaret's out front cutting down plants that need cut back for the winter, and he says, "Do you mind if I get some leaves? I'm mulching for my garden." And he filled up more bags of leaves and took them away. We've never seen that happen before. It was kind of interesting. And he went down to the end where all the maple leaves are, not where the oak leaves are piled up. Oak leaves are too acetic, I guess. Anyway, that's about it, John. Back to net control, W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Okay, very good, Bill. Forrest, I hear you there. In and out, KD8YAX in and out. Hey, Bill, yeah, what I do with my leaves, I've been doing this now, maybe 10 years now. One of the guys at work, when I was working, he made arrangements with several of us that he gives us bags, and we fill them up with leaves, and then he comes around later and picks up the bags of leaves. So
the only leaves that I put out for the city to pick up, which they did today. Today was the pickup day. Are the ones that are down in the curb there out on the street. So I put them up onto the grass like they want them, and then they come by and they came by and sucked them up today. But I have 15 bags of leaves for him already, and the trees aren't done dropping, so that's what he does. He puts them on his garden there, and then late in the summer he comes over with a new box of bags and brings some stuff from his garden. So it worked, and he brings flowers too. So it all works out. Over.
Yeah, 15 bags wouldn't make a dent in the leaves I have here. We bring some down to the street, and in terms of bags, might be 50 bags if you were to bag it all up. City's picked up already once, and even before they were supposed to. The first scheduled pickup this week, and then again. But the back part of the yard, I don't even try to get down to the street because we go back 580 feet. So the back part of the yard, I have a walk-behind leaf blower, and I blow them back up into the back or over to the side underneath where nothing else grows anyway because of the shade of the trees. Boy, if I were bagging them, it would be a lot more work. But that's nice that he's got a way to get the leaves and put them to good use. Because I don't know what happens to the leaves here from Talmadge. I think they take them up to a place and they mulch them and try to make compost out of them. But I don't know. Anywho, back to you, John. W8VPV, KA8WTK.
Yeah, okay, Bill. Yeah, well, our lot's only 120 feet deep. It's 120 feet by 65 feet, and then, like a third of that is the house and the two-car garage. So there's not a whole lot of yard like you're talking over 500 feet. So, okay, very good. Thanks for checking in, Bill, and have fun with your leaves there and watching that neighbor fill bags up with your leaves. So 73, have a good evening. Okay, so let's see, I heard Forrest in there, in and out, so I have him on the list. So next is Mark, KE8YIR, Mark and Hudson. Go ahead, Mark, with your comments.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that. And where's the leaf man or the bag man? Whenever I need them, I still got leaves, but yeah, I'm like your other buddy there. I blow them into the back and try and get rid of them that way. I was just thinking today, I made comment that remember years ago you'd walk down the street and all you would smell was the smell of burning leaves, and it's kind of a pleasant smell. I kind of miss that. Kind of spotting my age here, I guess, too. Only other thing I want to add is kudos to Frank. He did a great job on that article about the history of the club and going back to war times and everything else and pre-war times. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I really did, and look forward to, I kind of skimmed over it, but I'm going to go back and read it again here later on this evening. Other than that, not much else. John, back to the net. This is KE8YIR.
Okay, Mark, very good. When I was a boy, I used to go around and people would pay me to rake their leaves into a pile. This was in Crafton in Pennsylvania, near Pittsburgh. And so, and then they'd light them up, and then I'd go on to somebody else that wanted me to rake their leaves up. So, that was back in the old days. That was in the 1950s. So, that's how that goes. So, thanks for checking in. Mark 73, and have a good evening. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins.
Kilo Echo 8 Tango Quebec Romeo, Keith in Uniontown, KE8TQR.
KE8TQR. Go ahead with your comments. Are you on the 891?
Come back on that, John. I barely hear you.
Okay, well, I have you on the list, KE8TQR. Thanks for checking in, 73. Have a good evening. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins.
KATU.
KATU. Good evening, Larry. What's going on over there?
Oh, it's just dark. Not 85 or anything. Nighttime on Oakwood Drive, and not winter yet, though, thank goodness. Yeah, dealing with the leaves too, but I'm whipping it. I'm getting it done. Okay, John, see you guys Wednesday evening. Don't have anything more to add to that. Like I said, save me a seat, and Vince is still listening. Another compliment to him on the newsletter. Got that on 2 meters, let's say it again. And aside from that, catch everybody Wednesday. So back to you, John, WAGTV KQ.
Okay, Larry, thanks for checking in, and I'll save you a seat there if I can. You know how it gets there. Okay, we'll see you Wednesday then. Okay, this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor asking for check-ins. You know what, I turned up the power here. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic asking for check-ins. Okay, I'll repeat the announcements and then I'll give one last call for check-ins. Okay, this Wednesday, November 8th, is our meeting. We're going to have a party there. We're going to have watch a movie, and we'll have popcorn, and we'll have some coffee with hazelnut creamer. And let's see, it will also be on Zoom. So again, that starts at 7:30 on this Wednesday, November 8th. And go to www.cfarc.org to get the link for Zoom for that meeting. Okay, then on November 13th, that's a week from today, is a volunteer exam session at the Cuyahoga Falls Library. The test starts at 6:30 p.m., so get there before that so you can start taking the test at 6:30 p.m. Make sure you have your FRN and also pre-register for that exam by going to www.cfarc.org and click on the word education, and that will take you to a page where you can register for that exam. Again, that's a week from today at 6:30 p.m. at the Cuyahoga Falls Library, 225 2nd Street. You can also get to it from 3rd Street between Portage Trail and Broad Boulevard. So study up and get ready to either get a license or upgrade. Okay, and then on November 22nd is our last meeting of the year, business meeting, and the party may continue from the 8th on to the 22nd, so we'll see how that goes. And that again is at 130 Broad Boulevard, Pilgrim United Church of Christ. Get to the parking lot by going on 2nd Street south of Broad Boulevard. And that also will be on Zoom. Then on December 6th is our Christmas dinner and a presentation about AM broadcast radio with emphasis on the Akron area. Now we have a sign up now. It's in the newsletter. There's a sign up link to sign up for that, so we know how many people are going to attend, at least get an approximation. So make sure you sign up for that. It's in the newsletter, and it may be on our website also, but it's for sure the link is in the newsletter, which came out today. Let's see here, and on November 23rd, Thanksgiving Day, is an event in and around Glendale Cemetery, which is what includes, the event includes Exchange Street, and so N8RK8 needs volunteers to operate radios along the route. So send a message to N8RKA at currently.com. That's November 8, Romeo Kilo Alpha at currently.com. I'll spell that word. Charlie United Romeo Echo November Tango Lima Yankee.com. So thanks for volunteering for that if you can. And you need a 2-meter radio, either a handheld or in your car. We operate a 2-meter simplex frequency for that event. Okay, that's all that I have in the way of announcements. So this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor, last call for check-ins. Okay, none heard. So in preparing to close this net, I would like to thank all of you who took the time to join us and check in tonight. As mentioned earlier, this band exploration net meets every Monday at 9:30 p.m. Next week, the frequency will be 28.360 megahertz, upper sideband. Please feel free to check in regularly, even if only for a moment. All comments are welcomed and valuable to us. This has been John, and my call is WO3X. That's Whiskey Oscar 3 X-ray, and it has been my pleasure to host this evening's net. At this time, I will close the net and return the frequency to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor closing the net at 10:02 p.m. local time with 8 check-ins counting myself. 73. KHMS. Oh, KHMS.
HMS. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, hi there. Almost forgot. I was outside working on some stuff in the shed, and I looked and oh my God, it's 10. So, well, I'm glad I caught you. So, give you another one for the numbers.
Yeah, okay, yeah, very good. Yeah, and I have a good copy on you there. your signal is very good here. Thanks for checking in, and have a good evening. Maybe we'll see you at the meeting. There's going to be a movie. Do you think you'll be there?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. That's this Wednesday. Yes, I will try it out. Give it a shot.
Okay, very good, Steve. Well, maybe we'll see you there. So, 73, have a good evening, and hope to see you at the meeting. Okay, are there any other check-ins? This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor.
Hey, how'd your coffee thing come out?
6 people want coffee, so Frank's going to bring a pot, and he's going to bring some hazelnut creamer.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Well, I guess some guys do, so. Okay, just curious, State HMS.
Okay, yeah, very good. Thanks, Steve. So hope to see you there at the meeting. Okay, so this is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor. Are there any other check-ins before I close the net? Okay, at this time I will close the net and return the frequency to normal customary amateur radio use. This is Whiskey 8 Victor Papa Victor with John WO3X at the mic, closing the net at 10:04 p.m. with 9 check-ins, counting myself. That's pretty good for this net here. WO3X at 10:04 p.m. 73.